When looking at our poster, you can see that straight away you're presented with four different images of the artist herself, Ava. Also, you are immediately drawn to the background colour, the pastely pink colour. First of all, I'll talk about the images themselves. Okay, so when looking at the images, you can see that she is holding a phone and she looks very glamorous. What we're trying to do here is trying to relate the artist back to the 1950s to give it a 1950s feel about the advertisement. How we done this was by using mise-en-scène and props. The mise-en-scène we used during this piece was the headscarf and the clothes she was wearing. The headscarf itself, we had to do a bit of research into. We looked back at pictures from the 1950s, we looked at glamour models and pin-up girls. We found out through our research that this would be the common thing during that period of time they'd be wearing due to the fashion. Also, you can see that she's holding a phone. As again, when we done our research into it, we looked at pin-up girls and glam models. This was a common thing that we found out that they would be holding. So we used this within our advertisement to give it a 1950s feel about it. Moving on now to the background colour. We chose pastely pink because we wanted it to represent the artist themselves, Ava. Our genre was pop. So for example, we didn't want to use bright colours, what would normally be associated with this, because bright colours wouldn't represent and wouldn't give it the same type of feel that we were going for. We're trying to install to people that she's from the 1950s, she has class, etc. If we use bright colours, it would sort of lose the feel that we're trying to get. So we use a pastely colour throughout our ancillary tasks to enable us to reinforce that we're trying to give the feel that she's from the 1950s. Also, you can see that she's wearing some lipstick. We chose her to wear some lipstick because, yet again, when carrying out our research, we found out that they had red lips, or red lipstick on. This would also demonstrate to people that she was a type of classy girl, but also that redness shows love and affection. So the overall feel we're getting from this poster or advertisement is that Ava is a classy but independent and caring person who may be a bit cheeky time to time. Looking at our poster, you could see that it's girly. We didn't want it to be very masculine because this wouldn't represent who the artist was. So we went for the girly size font that would also represent the 1950s. Yet again, throughout the whole advertisement, we're always trying to relate it back to the 1950s. You could also see it was a girly feel due to the colours, what she was wearing. It was still very girly. So that was the main aim. We wanted it to come across as not very masculine, but it also shows her independence of being a girl. She's a strong woman figure. When looking at our CD cover, you can see that we have used 6 different images for each individual part of the CD cover. Our album front cover, we have used a picture of the artist herself and also of a jukebox. The reason why we have used a picture of the artist is for obvious reasons, because people want to know what the artist looks like. This will decide if they want to buy the album or not, just by the look of the artist. As we're trying to represent the 1950s, we yet again used mise-en-scene and props to reinforce the 1950s when taking a picture. So as you can see, there is a portrait of the artist herself. She's yet again wearing a headscarf that we've also said previously is related to the 1950s, and also using a phone. The second picture that we've used for the front cover is a jukebox. This also relates back to the name that we chose for the CD cover. Our CD cover is called Ava James Modern Jukebox. The picture itself relates to the jukebox, and because it's music, we're trying to relate the music to her and her songs. We're also gone for a pastel colour again, so throughout the whole 6 different inserts we've used different pastel colours, because yet again we didn't want it to be too bright and make it not not sort of go with the artist's appearance. So we chose a pastely turquoisey colour for the front cover to make it stand out, but also be nice and complementing to the picture itself. Okay, so now going on to the back cover. You're presented by another pastel colour, pink, salmon pink. Also, you've got the track listings, and you've got a 1950s radio that will be found during that time. This is also to reinforce the statement that we're trying to get across, that that she is from the 1950s and everything about her is 1950s. Moving on to the CD, another CD covering, so we've got Flowers. These flowers, yet again, they're sort of girly, okay, so that represents who she is. We didn't want to make anything too male type, because that's not the type of person she is. Yet again, the concept we're trying to go for is the 1950s, so that'd be very flowery and girly. The background colour, yet again, is another pastely colour. Moving on to another picture, another CD cover we've done. This one here is a picture of her using a bottle of perfume. The perfume represents her femininity and also shows that she's a lady. It also makes her seem very classy and very elegant because she's using perfume. She wants to smell nice. She obviously wants to impress someone. So, and that also is another thing that links back to 1950s. She feels empowered. She's got this power. She's able to do this. She's able to go out, smell nice for people, and attract males. So that's what it's all about, making her feel sexy. And it feels very girly. And also, again, we use another pastel colour to get this across. Another CD covering. So again, as I already said, we've used one simple picture of a flower. For a CD insert where the CD will go itself. It's a very simple picture of a flower, so it shows femininity basically. That's what we're trying to get across. She's very feminine. She's not a tomboy at all. She's if you want to call her basically a girl really. Another picture, we have a picture of herself for another insert, but behind that we've also incorporated a flower. So we faded the flower onto the picture of her. She's looking off camera, she's looking away from the camera, but yet again we've used mise-en-scène and props to get the 1950s feel about it. So we've used a phone and we've used a headscarf again, and also her clothing that she's wearing clothing that would be related to that time. So throughout the whole pictures there's a consistency of the 1950s feel, enabling the audience member to understand what type of person she is. When looking at our music video, you can see that we've still gone for the 1950s concept. We've done this by using the green screen, low-key lighting, high-key lighting, different types of location, and also mise-en-scène. When looking at the artist throughout the whole music video, you can see that she's wearing clothing that would relate to the 1950s. For example, yet again, the headscarf, the dresses, and also the phone that you've seen a few times. Also, when looking at the opening scene, one of the opening scenes further into the music video, you can see that she's sitting at a makeup table. Around her would be objects that would be found within the 1950s, such as the perfume, etc. When looking at the artist in the music video herself, you can see that her hair is done in a style that would be seen within the 1950s. So we've done our research into different hairstyles that are around in the 1950s, and we came to a decision which one we should be using. An example of this would be when looking at the green screen, you can see that a hair is done in such a way that would be acceptable within the 1950s. When we were using the green screen, we had to come up with a colour we'd like to use for the background. We came to a conclusion yet again. We were trying to use pastel colours throughout the whole scene, because this would then yet again complement her character, and we didn't want anything too bright because it would clash with what we were trying to go with. So we tried to use pastel colours as well as we could, because when using the green screen and editing it, it was quite hard to find the right colour that would look quite well, would go quite well with the scenery. But we finally managed to do this, and we used pastel colours throughout, therefore giving it a more authentic feel about it, enabling it to be seen as a 1950s type music video. When making the music video, we wanted Ava, the lead singer, to come across in a certain way. We wanted her to be seen as a strong individual, classy and sexy. This would be very common within the 1950s, so therefore we were trying to represent this within our music video. I think personally that it was a success, that we managed to do this and to use everything we got from our research about the 1950s and incorporate it within our music video.
Ow!